welcome back to another video here on the Scouting Report. In today's video, I'm ranking every single team's so-called ace or number one starter this year from 2026. Before we get into it, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and comment down below your favorite pitcher this year. Coming in at number 30, it's going to be Tomoyuki Sagano. Is anyone surprised that the number 30 starting pitcher this year is coming from the Colorado Rockies? No. But honestly, Tomoyuki Sagano's had a great season this year for his standards, having 12 wins, a 4.70 ERA. It's really just impressive for a guy pitching in Colorado, as he's basically replicating what he did in Baltimore. But this isn't Baltimore, this is Colorado, one of the hardest places to pitch, and he's doing his damn good job. Honestly impressive having 12 wins for a Colorado Rockies team that just is bad this year, and pitching Colorado to a 4.7 ERA is honestly very impressive, so shout out to him. But he's coming in at number 30, and he should not be a number one pitcher for any team. Next up, JT Ginn from the Athletics, 3.5 ERA, 4.16 FIP. He's honestly had a breakout year for the A's, who have one of the worst pitching staffs in baseball, but shout out to him. He's doing his job. He's been one of the most consistent guys for that rotation, and he's had some strong moments this year. He had a no-hitter going into the 9th inning in May, and he's been probably the lone bright spot for this A's rotation as they start to try and build a new foundation and a new pitching staff that is one of the worst in baseball. And he's also in that how are you a number one tier. Let's move on. Shota Imanaga from the Chicago Cubs. You can really choose a lot of guys from the Cubs this year, but Shota Imanaga's been like one of the only guys who has been in there all year. He's one of two guys who have had 16-plus starts this year. And I wasn't going to give it to a guy like Kevin Gausman or Clay Holmes, who they just got at the deadline. But Imanaga, he's been all right this year, 3.7 ERA, 4.53 FIP. Not really what you want from a number one guy. And going into the playoffs, it's going to be weird what the Cubs do with their rotation and see who they trust to get that game one in the wild card series. It's going to be Gausman, Imanaga, Clay Holmes. We'll have to see, but that's going to be the big downfall for the Cubs in the playoffs is their rotation, in my opinion. 27, Michael McGreevy from the St. Louis Cardinals, 3.48 ERA, 4.25 FIP. Honestly, just an average pitcher. Should not be a number one. He's a solid number 3, and he's been all right this year. A little breakout. The Cardinals' most consistent weapon on the mound. He's had 14 quality starts this year, which is honestly great. That's more than half his starts are quality, and it's really just something you weren't really expecting out of this year from a guy like Michael McGreevy, giving you consistent innings and giving you just consistency on the mound. You can win any game that he's pitching, as he's just going to give you around a quality start every game, and that's all you can ask for a guy you didn't have much high expectations for, but yet again, how are you a number one in this league? Next, Michael Wacha. Starting that could be worse tier. He was an all-star this year somehow, and he's rocking 3.58 ERA with a 4.18 FIP. I swear he just does this every year. Mid-3s ERA. Gives you a bunch of innings, around 180 innings every year. He's just a seasoned veteran. He knows how to get it done on the mound, but also he's not a guy you want to be your number one for a team that was supposed to have great expectations this year but have completely fallen on their faces, and he's one of the only guys who has been consistent for the Royals this year. And he's tied for the AL lead in quality starts, which is pretty amazing for him at a guy who's in his mid-30s. He just continues to get it done, and he will every single year. And I would be surprised if Michael Wacha doesn't have around the similar stats that he has this year, next year for the Royals. Coming in at number 25, it's going to be Trevor Rogers of the Baltimore Orioles. Trevor Rogers really broke out last year in the second half, being one of the most dominant left-handed pitchers in the league in the second half last year. This year, he's got off to a slow start with a 4.15 ERA, 3.62 FIP, as his numbers are kind of inflated from that slow start. But ever since June, he's at a 2.45 ERA. And if the Orioles want any chance to make the playoffs, sneak into that third wild card in the AL, Trevor Rogers is going to be a big part of that. And if they can sneak in, Trevor Rogers will get that ball game one, and he could very well win them that game. Number 24 is going to be Reed Detmers of the Los Angeles Angels. Detmers also having a breakout year this year. His 3.2 FIP really shows it all. Much lower than his ERA, and that just shows he's been a great pitcher, but it has bad defense around him. He's getting unlucky. That's what happens when you play for the Los Angeles Angels. He's rocking a 10.5 K per 9. That's what he does. That's how he gets guys out. He's one of the best strikeout pitchers in the league, and he's having a great bounce back year and breakout year this year. And hopefully he can help anchor that Angels rotation if they ever want to be competitive again, which who knows. And he's the start of the solid starter tier. Let's go, number 23, Cade Cavalli of the Washington Nationals. he's very similar to Reed Detmers as he's having a breakout year. He's a young pitcher, 3.3 ERA, 3.4 FIP. So that ERA is the whole story, and he's striking out 10 guys per 9. He has been absolutely great for the Nationals as they try to rebuild that pitching staff. Him and Connolly Early are going to be great building blocks for this rotation for the next couple years. He's really finally healthy after his Tommy John surgeries, and he's blossoming into what the Nationals wanted him to be. And he could be a frontline starter for the Nationals for years to come. Probably number 2 guy, great number 3, solid number 2. And he, this year, has been a reliable number 1 for the Nationals. Rocking a 3.3 ERA is really great for anyone. Number 22 is going to be Michael King of the San Diego Padres. And they signed him to a big deal this offseason, 3 years, $75 million. He's been pretty solid this year. Probably the only consistent starter for the Padres before the deadline, as they had guys like German Marquez, Walker Buehler starting. Mike King's rocking a 3.41 ERA, 4.26 FIP, which isn't the best. He's had better years, but overall, Michael King's always just a reliable number 1 guy for any team he's going to be on. And if he just stays healthy, he's one of the best and most consistent pitchers you'll have on your team. 142 innings. He's staying healthy this year, and he's going to be a big part whether the Padres can go deep into the playoffs this year. It's just Michael King's coming in at number 22, back end half of the league, but starting pitching in the league right now is at an all-time high. So if you're really just outside of the top 25, you are a pretty elite pitcher in the world. So number 21 is going to be Joe Ryan of the Minnesota Twins, another all-star, 2-time all-star. And unfortunately, he's injured right now, not being able to help the Twins go for that playoff push. But hopefully he comes back soon, because he's by far the Twins' number 1 pitcher. 3.6 ERA, 3.4 FIP, and a 10 K per 9. He kind of just did the same thing he's doing as he did last year. One of the best strikeout guys in the league, has one of the best fastballs, very consistent. He's a very reliable number 1 starter. And if the Twins can sneak into the playoffs, he will get that ball in Game 1 and make his first playoff start. We'll see what he can do. Well, let's hope the Twins can get in the playoffs for Joe Ryan to have his playoff debut. I'm a very big fan of Joe Ryan, as he's always consistent. He knows how to get the job done. And Joe Ryan is coming in at 21. Rounding off the top 20 is going to be Nolan McLean, the rookie from the New York Mets. Nolan McLean is one of the best strikeout pitchers in the league as well, 10.2 K per 9. And he's having a great rookie season for the Mets. 3.3 ERA, 3.6 FIP. That's all you really wanted from him. He had a slow start to the year, but he's had a 2.5 ERA in his last 14, so he's really hitting his stride. He overcame that rookie wall, and he's going to be one of the best pitchers in the NL East, in the NL, honestly, for the rest of his career. He has elite stuff. If he can just hold that command, help him go deep into games, he's going to be scary. He's going to be the face of that Mets rotation for years to come. That's why Nolan McLean is the 20th best starting pitcher in the league this year. And coming in at number 19, a guy who really broke out last year, Hunter Brown. I'm really using the sample size from last year a little bit more because he was injured this year, but he's still rocking a 3.6 ERA and 9.5 K per 9. If he can stay healthy going into the playoffs, he will help the Astros probably win a wild card series, or just any series they can, because he's going to be on the bump for Game 1, and if he can give them a great start, it's going to be a great thing for the Astros. He's also a reliable number 1. Probably can be much better, as he was elite last year in his first breakout year. And if he can just stay healthy the rest of his career, he's going to be that number 1 the Astros need for the rest of his time there. Going in at number 18, it's going to be Eduardo Rodriguez, surprisingly, for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's having an absolutely breakout year. First-time All-Star at his age is honestly crazy to me. 2.7 ERA, 12-4 record. But that FIP is 3.84, whole run higher than his ERA, which is pretty interesting. However, he just keeps getting the job done. He probably is going to regress to the mean next year, but this year he's been one of the best pitchers in the league. He's been very reliable for the Diamondbacks, and he's a main reason why they are fighting for a playoff spot. If they didn't have him, that rotation would be absolutely terrible, whether it's not the best rotation right now. He is just being that strong anchor, eating innings, and getting the job done. He has 16 quality starts this year, and his ERA is 2 runs lower than what was expected from him this year. Shout out to Eduardo Rodriguez having a breakout year at this age. Next, at number 17, is Jacob deGrom for the Texas Rangers. Jacob deGrom's still doing his thing. 3.95 ERA, but the FIP is at a 3.2. And that's just absolutely amazing for a guy like Jacob deGrom, who struggled with injuries so much throughout his career. He's still doing the thing. He's one of the best strikeout guys in the league, 11K per nine, the highest we've seen so far. And he has ace material stuff, folks. Number 17 is Jacob deGrom, the veteran who still gets it done at his age. And if the Rangers can sneak into the playoffs, like many of these AL teams can, he could help them, and he can be a big factor getting the ball in Game 1 for the Rangers. Next up, number 16 is Troy Melton. Troy Melton, another guy who's just breaking out this year. I feel like this year is the year for breakout pitchers from the Detroit Tigers. Once they traded Skubal, Troy Melton became that guy. 1.7 ERA with a 3.54 FIP. It's a big difference, but he's just doing it day in and day out. He has the lowest ERA among guys with 80-plus innings, and he has that in just 14 starts. Like, this guy is going to be amazing for the Tigers for years to come. And he is a big reason why they can deal with the Skubal trade and the Casey Mize trade, because he has stepped up big time. Shout out to Troy Melton. He has ace material stuff, and he's going to be a great pitcher for years to come for the Tigers. Next up, rounding up the top 15 is going to be Sean Burke from the Chicago White Sox. Another guy, young guy, who was broken out this year. 3.15 ERA, 9.9 K per nine, and 3.44 FIP. 5 quality starts in July. He's been one of the best pitchers since the summer has started. And for the White Sox, they have been one of the most surprising teams this year. And Sean Burke is a big reason of that. And if they want a chance to go on a deep playoff run, it's going to be on the back of Sean Burke's arm. He's got one of the best fastballs in the league. And if that fastball plays, it's just going to be set up all of his other pitches, because he has one of the best fastballs in the league. And he has ace material stuff for the future years to come for the Chicago White Sox. Coming in at number 14, it's going to be Logan Webb. He's also just a veteran, kind of similar to Michael Wacha, but just much better in my opinion. 3.5 ERA, 3.16 FIP this year. I mean, he just gets it done every single year for a bad Giants team. I could have wished he could have went to a contender at the deadline. Maybe they traded him, but he's kind of just rotting away on the Giants right now. However, he's been one of the best pitchers since June with 10 quality starts in his last 13 outings. That's really just what you're going to get from Logan Webb. Just quality start after quality start. And it's not really much you can ask for from the Giants if you're asking for Logan Webb. He's been their ace for past 3 years. And he has really just been one of the most consistent pitchers. He's always going to get those innings, and he's just going to be consistent year in and year out. You know what you're going to get from him, and it's going to be no surprise. That's why Logan Webb is an ace material guy coming in at number 14. He might not have the best stuff compared to other guys like maybe Nolan McLean, Joe Ryan, but he's just always more consistent than them. He has the track record to get this ranking, in my opinion. 13, Logan Gilbert, another Logan coming from the Seattle Mariners. He has probably his best season of his career this year, 3.28 ERA, 3.45 FIP. And he's been one of the most consistent guys for a terrible Mariners team. He's 4 straight season with a ERA and FIP under 3.2 and 3.8. He's just consistent every year, similar to Logan Webb. You know what you're going to get from him. Quality starts, get those innings, and he has great stuff. Fastball in the high 90s, a great splitter and a slider. And he's just anchoring this Mariners rotation for another year like everyone thought he would be. However, the Mariners have been terrible, but that's no problem to Logan Gilbert. Coming in at number 12 is Paul Skeens. This might be a harsh ranking, but the stats don't lie for Paul Skeens, who was probably the best pitcher for the past 2 years. He's having not a great. Also a 2.9 FIP. So who knows? Is this just a bad stretch where he's getting unlucky, or is Paul Skeens really just regressing? He has 11 K per nine, which is still one of the best in the league, but he's getting hit much harder this year. However, he is one of the just 11 pitchers with 100 plus innings and a FIP under 3, which is great for him. This might be harsh, but the stats don't lie. That ERA is just screaming at me where I can't put him in the top 10, but I believe next year Paul Skeens is going to be back to his elite self. He is still elite, but he will be a top 3 pitcher again next year. This year, number 12, though, for the Pirates really just needed him every game, and they didn't get him. That's why they're out of the playoff race right now. Coming in at number 11, Sandy Alcantara. He's having also a bounce back year after Tommy John surgery, 3.4 ERA, 3.79 FIP. And he's just been consistent day in and day out for the Marlins. He's finally back from Tommy John. Last year was a little just revamp year, get that arm back used to throwing, and now he's been absolutely dominant. He's had one of the best games against another guy on this list, Chase Burns, against the Reds just a week ago, and it was a great pitchers duel. Sandy Alcantara is going to be great, and I've kind of loved to see the Marlins maybe trade him this offseason to a contender who can actually help out. But that's at number 11 is going to be Sandy Alcantara. Starting the top 10, probably the best pitchers in the game right now, and it's going to be Parker Messick. He's a Cy Young caliber guy this year as a rookie. 2.59 ERA, 3.2 FIP. Like, this guy is insane. He is in the race for AL Rookie of the Year, and he's been the top rookie pitcher this year out of anyone. And he's a young guy. This Guardians rotation with him and Gavin Williams will be a problem to mess with if they can make the playoffs, which is looking like they might be able to. They're tied for that third wild card spot right now. And if they can get in, and they could definitely win that wild card series if they're pitching Parker Messick and Gavin Williams in two of those games. Those are two of the best pitchers in the league. And Parker Messick, the rookie, having a breakout year, and he's going to be at the front of that Guardians rotation for years to come. Coming in at number 9, another veteran who just does the dang thing, having probably his best season of his career at age 36, is Sonny Gray of the Boston Red Sox. 2.6 ERA, 3.4 FIP, 15-3 record, which he just got his 16th win just the other day. It hasn't before I recorded this, but he's just doing his thing. He's tied for the league in wins, which, I mean, and this nowadays doesn't really mean much, but he's just been a consistent guy for the Red Sox. He's a 2.3 ERA since after he went on the IL. And if the Red Sox are going to go on a deep playoff run, it's going to be on the back of Sonny Gray. Can he have a great playoff run this year? Because if he does, the Red Sox could easily make the World Series. Coming in at number 8, it's going to be Drew Rasmussen. This guy's always had elite stuff. He was just never able to stay healthy. And this year, he's on pace to have just one of the best seasons of any pitcher. 2.78 ERA, 2.9 FIP. I feel like he goes under the radar a lot because he plays for the Rays. But he's just consistently been one of the best pitchers for one of the best teams in the league in 2026. That's why he's a Cy Young caliber guy. He's probably around 3 or 4 in the Cy Young race in the AL. But he's just all you can ask for the Rays. And that's why he's coming in at number 8. Number 7, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I didn't put a guy like Tarek Skubal on this list because he's been on the Dodgers for like 2 weeks. Or a little more than that, but Yamamoto is just consistent. He arguably could be better than Skubal this year. 2.6 ERA, 3.3 FIP. I mean, this guy is just always consistent, one of the best guys in the league. And yeah, he's going to be a Cy Young caliber guy, like all these guys on the list. And if he can give another strong playoff performance like he did last year, he's just going to build his reputation, build his absolute stardom, and he's going to be a star for years to come. People forget he's still a very young pitcher. He's in his 20s still, and this is only like his 3rd year in the league. He's going to be one of the most dominant pitchers and maybe one of the best Japanese pitchers of all time. That's why Yoshinobu Yamamoto is coming in at number 7 for the LA Dodgers. Number 6 is going to be Chase Burns, probably just like the most obvious breakout guy for this year. 2.47 ERA, 14-2, 3.1 FIP. This guy is gross, guys. If Hunter Green could ever just stay healthy, this would be one of the best 1-2 punches in the league for the Reds. And he's had 18 starts with a 2.2 ERA and a 12-0 record for the Reds team. That has just been pretty bad this year, but Chase Burns has been a great sign. If he can stay in Cincinnati for a while, like he just signed an extension, he's going to be one of the best pitchers in the league for the rest of his career. I mean, I see him only rising in this list, and he's only at number 6. He's probably going to be my pick to win the NL Cy Young next year. Like passing a guy like Mizorowski, Chase Burns could do it. This guy is absolutely gross. One of the best fastballs and best sliders in the league. And shout out to Chase Burns. He was a very obvious breakout pick, and he is proving his truthers right. Shout out to him, number 6 on this list. 6th best starting pitcher this year, in my opinion. Number 5 is going to be Chris Sale. The Atlanta Braves, like, this guy's insane. As long as he stays healthy, he's the best probably the best pitcher in baseball, in my opinion. Like, he is absolute gross stuff. 2.16 ERA, 2.29 FIP. That is just yucky. You don't see a FIP number like that for guys with 129 innings. And he has 11 K per 9. If he can stay healthy, he's going to help this Braves team go on a deep playoff run. And he has to anchor that rotation because there is not much after him. Guys like Bryce Elder, Tyler Mahle, it's really just going to rely on Chris Sale. He's been absolutely elite this year. No surprise. This guy gets it done. Probably the best slider in the game, one of the best fastballs. Like, this guy's gross. He's gross from the left side. That's why he's coming in at number 5 for a guy who's in his mid-30s. Absolutely insane. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Dylan Cease of the Toronto Blue Jays. Dylan Cease got an absolute bag this offseason from the Blue Jays, 7 years, $210 million or something like that. And many were skeptical about that contract, but he has been probably the best pitcher in the AL this year, and he has a strong case to win the Cy Young. He's a very elite pitcher, and if you told me that he was going to do this, I thought the Blue Jays would be in the World Series again. However, they're on the outside looking in the playoffs, under 500. I mean, 13 K per 9. That's something you don't see every day. Something you'll never see for probably another year from Dylan Cease. He strikes out guys left and right. He goes deep into games. He can pitch over 110 pitches like he just did the other night. And that's all you could ask for a guy like Dylan Cease, who you just give a big contract to from Toronto. He's given you everything you asked for, 2.4 ERA, 2.3 FIP. I mean, this guy is just elite. They helped him revamp his changeup and his slider, and that just made him a top pitcher. Coming in, starting the top 3 is going to be Cam Schlittler, another young guy who's just breaking out. This guy is insane. As a Red Sox fan, it kills me to say this, but Cam Schlittler, absolute dog. Probably going to win the AL Cy Young this year. 2.19 ERA, 2.5 FIP, 11 K per 9. He leads the AL in ERA plus, B-WAR, and he opened the year with 11 scoreless innings. Like, this guy's insane. He's going to anchor that Yankees rotation for the next 10 years, and if they want any chance to get Aaron Judge a ring, Cam Schlittler is going to have a dominant playoff run. And he is it's only his second year in the league, and he is just going to be dominant. Throws 100, has a nasty cutter sinker, and he's just developed a curveball, which is going to be nasty as well. And that's why Cam Schlittler is coming in at number 3. But number 2 and number 1 are from the NL. Number 2 is Christopher Sanchez. I mean, this guy, oh my goodness. Where can I even start? 2.5 ERA, 16-4 record, 2.6 FIP. He's been one of the most consistent guys all year. He's on pace for 20 wins and 225 strikeouts. Are you kidding me? Only 2 guys have done that in the past decade. And he has 9 outings of 6+ scoreless innings. Like, jeez. One of the best changeups, probably the best lefty in the league this year and for years to come. And coming in at number 1, probably the most dominant pitcher we've seen in a while, pumping 105 left and right as a starter, Jacob Misiorowski of the Milwaukee Brewers, 1.75 ERA, 2.1 FIP, 13.6 K per 9. This guy's much-watched TV, and he's just absolutely dominant. I think the Brewers have what it takes to win the World Series because they're going to have this guy in the mound 2 times per series, and that should be 2 wins for them. He's dominant. He limits damage. He doesn't allow many home runs, and when he does, it's going to be like a solo shot because he doesn't walk guys this year, and he just strikes them out with ease. 105 right at you with a gross slider and cutter. Jacob Misiorowski is the best pitcher in the MLB this year, and that is why he's coming in at that number 1 spot. And that's going to be it for today's video. If you like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'm out.